Welcome to all. So this recorded video we are discussing section number 4.3 modular arithmetic from the course mathematics for IT. So let's start the topic. Section number 4.3 modular arithmetic. So here we are discussing mainly the operation congruent modulo. Okay, we are using this symbol. Okay, calling it as congruent. Okay, congruent modulo. So what is the meaning of this symbol congruent modulo? So we will discuss this one in this section 4.3. So congruent modulo, see what is the meaning of this symbol congruent modulo. You can see if a and b are integers. Okay, we are taking two numbers, a and b are integer numbers and m is a positive integer, then a is congruent to b mod m. Okay, a is congruent to b modulo m if m divides a minus b. Okay, and it is denoted by using this symbol a congruent to b mod m. When we are telling if m divides a minus b, that means m divides a minus b means what is the meaning? Just divide a minus b divided by m. Okay, second number divided by first number, a minus b divided by m. If you are getting an integer answer, then we are telling that two numbers are congruent. If you are getting an integer answer, a minus b divided by m, we are telling these two number a and b are congruent modulo m. Okay, now if you are not getting integer, that means a minus b divided by m, if it is not an integer, correct, equal to not an integer number, then we are telling that two numbers are not congruent. We are using this symbol congruent. Not congruent means we are just crossing that congruent symbol like not equal to. So not congruent to b mod m. So this is the idea modular arithmetic. So two number congruent means a and b are congruent means a minus b divided by m should be an integer number. We can divide, correct? That means m divides a minus b, it should be. If m not divides a minus b means we are telling that two numbers are not congruent. For example, we can discuss this symbol with one example so that is more clear. For example, I am taking the numbers 17 and 2. Okay, modulo 5. Mod 5 we are using in short. 17 and 2. Okay, mod 5. Is it congruent or not? That is the question. That means 17 is congruent or not to mod 5. Okay, that is the question we need to do. Yes or no, correct? So what we need to do that one for checking 17 congruent to 2 or not, what we do? Take this number 2 to the left side. That means 17 plus 2 come to the next side means minus 2, correct, divided by the mod number, correct. What is the mod number here? 5. Okay, modulo 5. So check this number in your calculator. 17 minus 2 divided by 5. So what is the number getting? It is equal to 3, correct. 3 means it is an integer number. Yes, it is an integer number. If you are getting answer as an integer number, because here it is getting 3 integer number, so what we can say? 17 and 2 are congruent. So we can say yes, it is congruent because 17 minus 2 divided by 5, we are getting an integer number. If you are getting an integer number, this is correct. 17 is congruent to 2 mod 5. We can use this symbol, correct, congruent. That means this number 17 and 2 are congruent under mod 5, correct, modulo 5. I hope you understood that one, how we are checking. Now, for example, another example when we are considering, for example, 14 and 3, modulo 5. Okay, mod 5. Is it congruent or not? That is the question. Okay, 14 congruent to 3 mod 5 or not? This is the question, correct? So, what we need to do, as I told you, first we are doing the operation 3 take to the left side. So we can write 14 minus 3, correct, plus 3 come to the next side, minus 3 divided by the modulo number, that is 5. 14 minus 3 divided by 5 means, you can check the calculator, correct, it is not an integer number, correct? You can use the calculator for that. 14 minus 3 divided by 5, you are getting approximately 2.2, correct? 2.2 number. It is a decimal, correct? Not integer number. So we can write it is not an integer, okay? It is not an integer number. That means 14 minus 3 not divides 5, correct? So 5 not divides 14 minus 3. It is not an integer number. It is not an integer number means what we can say, 14 and 3 is not congruent. Answer is no. So if it is not congruent, what you do? Use the symbol not congruent symbol. We need to cross that to congruent symbol, okay? Not congruent to 3 mod 5. So 14 and 3 are not congruent modulo 5. So this is the idea of the congruent. So it is easy idea, just how we are using that symbol, congruent symbol, okay? So congruent means, okay, a minus b, m divides a minus b, or a minus b divided by m should be an integer. If a minus b divided by m not an integer means we are using not congruent symbol, okay? So this idea we can remember that one. So we will go to some example here. See example 1. For example, determine whether 17 is congruent to 5 modulo 6, okay? So what we need to check, 17 is congruent to 5 modulo 6. Modulo means mod 6, okay? Is it correct or not? That is what our question, correct? Is it congruent or not? So as we discussed before example, we need to check that one. How we are checking? Just subtract this number 17 minus 5 divided by the modulo number. What is the modulo number? 6, okay? 17 minus 5 divided by 6. We can check by calculator what is the number getting. It is equal to 2, correct? Equal to 2. 2 means it is an integer number, okay? Just to check integer or not. It is an integer number. So what is the answer? Yes, it is congruent. Yes, correct? That means 17 is congruent to 5 mod 6. It is correct. Okay, now we will go to the next example. Determine whether 24 and 14 are congruent modulo 6. 24 and 14. So what we need to check? 24 and 14 congruent or not under modulo 6, correct? So we need to check this symbol. If you are writing here congruent symbol, is it correct or not? Okay, so we need to check that one. So like before, we are subtracting 24 minus 14 divided by 6, a minus b divided by m number, correct? You can check the calculator what is 24 minus 14 divided by 6. Okay, obviously it is not an integer, so it is not congruent, okay? So this is the answer. So what answer I hope you got? 24 minus 14 divided by 6 means it is approximately 1.666 like that, correct? It is not integer. So this answer is not correct. It is not congruent. So which symbol we need to use? Congruent symbol, we need to cross that one. It is not congruent, correct? 24 is not congruent to 14 mod 6. Okay, now we will go to the exercise from this section. Exercise 4.3, first question. Decide whether each of the integers is congruent to 3 modulo 7 or not. Decide whether each of these integers is congruent to 3 modulo 7 or not. So what is the first question? Number is minus 67. So what we need to check? Minus 67 congruent to 3 modulo 7 or not. This is the question we need to check, okay? So we need to check this in A part. B part we need to check minus 17. Number is minus 17 congruent to 3 mod 7 or not. Okay. Now in C part 66 congruent to 3 modulo 7 or not. This is the third one. And D part of the question 37 congruent to 3 modulo 7 or not. This is the D part of the question. Okay, so we will check one by one which one is the correct one. Okay, so first minus 67 congruent to 3 mod 7 or not? First we will check. So what we do, minus 67 plus 3 come to next, minus 3 divided by the modulo number 7. Okay. So you can check this number integer number or not, correct? It is an integer number, yes. Minus 67 minus 3 divided by 7. It is minus 10 you are getting. So it is an integer. Integer means what will be the answer writing? Yes, it is congruent, correct? So I am writing the answer here. Yes, it is congruent. So first one is correct. Now second one, we will go to the second part now. Minus 17 congruent to 3 mod 7 or not? Okay. So minus 17 minus 3 divided by 7, correct? Minus 17 minus 3 divided by 7. You can check by calculator. It is approximately minus 2.85 like this, correct? So it is not integer. It is not an integer number. So what is the answer we are writing? Not congruent, correct? It is not congruent. So we need to update the symbol here. So this symbol, it is, we cannot use the congruent symbol. What is that one? It is not congruent, correct? It is not congruent to 3 mod 7. Okay, now question number C part, 66. 66 is congruent to 3 mod 7. So we can check the number 66 minus 3 divided by 7, correct? 66 minus 3 divided by 7. What answer getting? Equal to 9. 9 means it is an integer, correct? If it is an integer, what is the answer? Yes, it is congruent. So that symbol is correct. Now the question number D, 37 congruent to 3 mod 7. 3 mod 7, 37, correct? So again we can check. So 37 minus 3 divided by 7. We can check this number. It is not an integer, correct? 4.85 like that. So we can write not integer. It is not an integer. So what will be the answer? No, correct? So we need to update the symbol here. We cannot use the congruent symbol. We need to write not congruent. Okay, so it is not congruent. So out of these, 2 are congruent, we can use, another 2 are not congruent. I hope you understood this question. Okay, now we will go to the next question. So keep in our mind here, question number A is congruent and question number C is congruent. Other 2 numbers are not congruent. Okay, now question 2. Same model question, A part. Decide whether each of these integers is congruent to 5 modulo 7. Okay. So first we need to check 80 is congruent or not 5 modulo 17. This is the first part of the question. So we can write first 80 congruent to 5 modulo 17 or not. Then B part, 103 congruent or not, okay, 5 modulo 17. Now C part, minus 29 congruent or not 5 mod 17. And D part, minus 122 congruent or not 5 mod 17. Okay, so we will check here one by one. Okay, so first we will check the first part. 80 minus 5 divided by 17. Okay, you can check this number. It is not an integer, correct? Not integer. Okay, if it is not an integer, we can write it is not congruent, correct? So we need to update our symbol here. It is not congruent, so we can write it is not congruent to 5 modulo 7. So here answer is no. Okay, now we will go to the second one. 103 congruent to 5 modulo 17. So we can check 103 minus 5 divided by 17. This is also not an integer, correct? It is not an integer. So again we need to update the symbol here. It is not congruent. Okay, so the answer is no. It is not congruent. Okay, now the question number C, minus 29 minus 5 divided by 17. It is an integer, correct? Integer number. It is an integer number. So this is congruent. So this is correct one. Yes, we can write yes. So congruent symbol we can use there. It is congruent. Now lastly, minus 122 minus 5 divided by 17. Correct? This is also not an integer. You can check by calculator. Not an integer number. So here we need to update the symbol. It is not congruent. So we can use the symbol not congruent symbol. Okay, I hope you understood this question also. Okay, now we will go to the next question. Question number 3. Okay, list 5 integers. We need to find 5 integers that are congruent to 4 modulo 12. We need to write 5 numbers. Here previous question numbers already given, 80, 103, minus 29, minus 12, 122, like that, correct? So out of this only we are getting congruent. So like that, here what we need to do, we need to write the integers, 5 integers, any 5 integers that is congruent to 4 modulo 12. That means what is the question is that x congruent to 4 modulo 12. Okay, we need to find what is our x. Okay, we need to write 5 integers, x number. Okay, what are the numbers we can choose for x here? Okay, what are the numbers we can choose for x such that x is congruent to 4 modulo 12. This condition should be satisfied. So what are the numbers we can choose? Okay, that is the question here. So I will tell you the easier way how to do that one. So we can write the number. So first start with the number here, this number, same number. So first number we are getting 4, same number we can write. Why we are writing number 4, same number? Because our question I can see x congruent to 4 modulo 12, correct? Now first time I can apply the same number here, 4 number. Why same number? Because you know how to check congruent or not. For example, 4 minus 4 divided by 12, correct? What is the answer getting? 0. 0 means it is an integer number, correct? It is an integer number. So this is correct. 4 we can choose. Yes, 4 number we can choose. That is why we are choosing first 4, the number 4. Now I will say how can we choose other numbers? Okay, like from right side how can we choose the numbers, and from the left side how can we choose the numbers? We can write many numbers. It is easy. Taking the numbers from right side and left side of this number. Okay, so what we will do is that first number is, of course it is the same number, 4 number we are writing. Now here second number we can write that 4 number plus that modulo number. What is the modulo number? 12. Okay, 4 number plus this modulo number, add that 2 numbers, that will be the next number. So what will be the answer getting? 16, correct? 4 plus 12, 16. Now I will show is it correct or not. See, for example, I am giving x as 16. So 16 congruent to 4 modulo 12 or not. Is it correct or not? We can check here. Correct? How we are doing? 16 minus 4 divided by 12. Correct? It is an integer number because 16 minus 4 means 12. 12 by 12 means it is 1. So it is an integer number. Correct? So it is congruent. I hope you understood how we are writing. So it is congruent. So second number is 16. Now if you want a third number, start from the 16. 16 plus again add the modulo number, that is 12. Okay, 16 plus 12. 16 plus 12 means 28. So next number is 28. You can check it is correct or not. For example, 28 congruent to 4 mod 12 or not. Correct? So how we are checking? 28 minus 4 divided by 12. Correct? 28 minus 4 means 24. 24 by 12 means 2. It is also an integer number. So it is correct. Correct? It is an integer number. So it is correct. So this also we can write. Now if you want the next number, what we will do again? Again 28 plus 12. Okay, so we will get 40. Like that it is continuing. How many number we need? We can write so many numbers, okay, easily. So that means these are all we can choose x number. Now to the left side of number 4, how we are choosing the number? Same idea. In the left side we are using 4 minus modulo number. Okay, here 4 plus the modulo number, 4 plus, then again plus modulo number, like that. But here subtract modulo number, 4 minus 12. What is the number getting? Minus 8. Then after that minus 8, subtract the modulo number 12. For minus 8 minus 12. So minus 20, correct? Now if you want the next number, what we do? Minus 20, again subtract minus 12, correct? Minus 32, like that it is continuing. Whatever the number, how many number we need, we can write like that. So you can check minus 8 correct or not. In the next page I am doing minus 8 congruent to 4 mod 12 or not, correct? As usual we can check minus 8 minus 4 divided by 12, correct? So what will be the number? Minus 8 minus 4 means minus 12 by minus 12 means minus 1. It is an integer number, correct? So it is correct integer number. So like that it is continuing. We can write how many numbers we needed. So here it is asked only 5 integers. So you can write 5 integers any side, either right side or left side. Okay. So this is the question we need to do here. So x congruent to 4 mod 12 means these are all the solution. X value means the solution of that equation, correct? So x we can choose 4, 16, 28, 40, then minus part minus 8, minus 20, minus 32, like the numbers. Okay. So we can select 5 numbers for the answering. Okay, now same model, one more question we can do. List 2 integers. We need to write only 2 number that are congruent to 5 modulo 8. That means x congruent to 5 modulo 8. What are the numbers? We can choose x number. We need to write 2 numbers here. Okay, you can write more, but here asked only 2 number in this question. So as I discussed before, okay, start from whatever the number given, then just you can try to write some number in the right hand side. I am writing more number. Okay, you can select whatever the number you needed, okay, from the right and left of these numbers. Okay, so let's start that one. So first start from this number 5. Same number is the first number, you can write 5. Okay, now add the modulo number. 5 plus 8 is the modulo number. 5 plus 8, correct? So the second number will be 13. Now this 13 plus again add the modulo number. 13 plus 8, that means 21. Like that it is continuing. Now in the left side we can write 5 minus the modulo number, minus 8, correct? So minus 3. Then minus 3 minus the modulo number 8, minus 11, like that it is continuing. So this is the answer here. List 2 integers that are congruent to 5 modulo 8. I hope you understood the idea, the congruent, how we are checking congruent or not, congruent modulo symbol, how to check, how we are when we are telling 2 numbers are congruent and modulo some number, correct? So it is easy, that construction. I hope you understood this idea, modular arithmetic. So thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel. Thank you very much.